Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Well-Read Beard. It is a damn fine day. It's Friday. Damn fine day to talk about a book. And we're here for a book review. Holy shit. We're going to talk about The SLOB by Aaron Beauregard. This is my first read from Mr. Beauregard. John Lynch did a giveaway and I won this book, and I could be wrong. John, I do not want to speak out of turn, but I believe it was because John liked this book so much that he bought like another one and had it, or he contracted Mr. Beauregard to sign and send one to the winner. Fuck, this is a fucked up book. It's bad, fucked up. I don't mean bad like it's bad. I get it. Look, it's very, very extreme, very extreme. It's the most extreme book I've ever read. I think there's a scene in here that I've never been reading a scene, and again, I've read. I don't read a ton of extreme horror, so I will lead in with that. I don't read a ton of extreme horror, but I've read, Survivor by Gonzalez. One that stands out in my memory is the Lucas Mangum stuff. Gods of the Dark Web was the one that really kind of struck me. But I read a bunch of Richard Lehman back in the day. I don't know if that's considered extreme or not. I think they loosely call him the father of splatterpunk. Maybe not. Maybe I may have just made that term up in my head. But this is the most extreme book I've ever read, and there's a scene in it. I've never contemplated putting a book down from the graphic nature of a scene, but there's a scene in here that it's a torture scene, and I really thought about putting it down, and because you feel that you are at the lowest point. You feel that this is the worst fucking thing that can happen to our main character. And it's not. Beauregard says, hold my beer. We're going to ratchet this shit up another level. And that happens about 4 times in this particular scene. Like, you're like, oh, fuck, I can't believe that this is happening. And then you're like, no, don't. I mean, you can't read a book like this, but I'm telling you, it was that brutal, gory, ugly, sickening of a scene. So I don't know what to do with this book. Like, I've never read a book and been like, just questioned why would you so here's what I can say about it. It is definitely shocking. It's definitely, it affects you. Like, this book affected me. This book, again, I read a ton of dark books, a ton of horror books. I get one, I finish it, I put it down, I pick up the next one. I don't stop really I do, I think, but that comes later before I come and talk to you. But, I read this stuff constantly. It's constantly in my head, in my eyes, in my dreams. I'm constantly reading dark fiction. And this one just, again, I just don't know what to do with it. It's so ugly. It's so extreme. The levels to the graphic nature just keep going up. And I'm really not going to tell you about the scene. I don't think. Like, I don't want to. I want to, because, I want to shock you here. I want to steal some of Beauregard's thunder and shock you here in this video, but I'm not gonna. So I'll tell you what I will do is I'll read the synopsis, and then from the synopsis I'll see if there's some things that I can say. So it says, some stains don't come out. Raised in a household so filthy it was stomach spilling, Vera involuntarily evolved into a neat freak. Upon discovering she and her disabled husband Daniel are expecting, she needs fast cash. Her obsession with cleanliness sprouts the concept that her skills can be put to use in a unique way. She takes a stab at the booming door-to-door vacuum sales business of 1988. All is going well until she arrives at the steps of a house that will change her forever. The steps of an evil that resurrects the ghastly memories she so desperately tried to wash away. Nothing will prepare you for the nastiness, disorder, and sickening horror brought forth by the SLOB. So, she's got a past. There's a graphic scene early on where, no one in her house does any type of cleaning or anything, and she becomes this neat freak, and she has to clean up after her sister's suicide. And that part was ugly, but that part was kind of beautiful. Like the way that was written, I was kind of like, oh, okay, all right, the graphic nature of it, but also the idea of having to do that. Anyway, so she's got a past with a filthy house, having to clean up after her sister, and she becomes this, neat freak, crazy cleaner. And she works at a hotel, doing the cleaning. I mean, she's really good at it, right? And gets the idea that a guy comes to her house selling a vacuum, and she's like, I could fucking do that. I could go into these houses and use my skill set, my OCD about cleaning or whatever to actually make money and sell these vacuums. And she does it, and she pushes hard, and she's good at it, and she maps out the neighborhood, and she's hit all these houses, and she goes out to this one down a deserted long stretch where the road turns to dirt, and there's one house out there, and it's a dead end, and fucking don't go in. I mean, come on. This guy's not going to buy a fucking vacuum anyway. I mean, why in the... So, she goes to this house, and she's held captive, and this guy is a murder machine, for lack of another way of putting it, and he's also a really gross, unhygienic fellow. So she is captive, and that's when the shit really goes crazy. And that's when the scene that I talked about earlier happens, and because of her abilities or whatever, because as a cleaner, she can run a fucking vacuum cleaner or whatever, or a carpet shampooer. She can get the blood out of carpet or whatever, which I'm not really sure why the guy cares, because the house is a fucking shithole. But for whatever reason, he keeps her around while other women are brought in, brutally killed, and whatever. So she lives this for a while, but it's horrible, and the amounts of torture is next level. I mean, it's really, really next level. Like there's no way she'd have lived through this. There's no way that she would have survived this. And I get it, it's fiction, I do, but there's no fucking way. The fucking power just went out. That's great. Anyway, I'm still here with you. There's no way. So ultimately, look, it's a very, very graphic book, and because of that, I kind of like it, and I kind of don't like it. Her ability to think through things and like contemplate things and make escape plans, whatever. Just like she would experience the most horrible shit any fictional characters ever experienced, and then make a plan. And I get it, but it really felt like there were like the level she was thinking at, the things that were crossing her mind. I know adrenaline, and I know you get dark humor in the weirdest situations, but it just like some of it didn't feel hyper realistic, and hopefully to God it's not fucking realistic. Hopefully to God this book it isn't realistic in any way, shape, or form. But another thing that I didn't really care for is that, I mean, this dude's a fucking murder machine, but he is not an evil mastermind by any way, shape, or form. He doesn't play well with others, any of them, you know. And at the end of this, there's a thing that's brought to light, a thing that shows up. I mean, it's more than just this guy in his, you know, this reclusive guy in his off the beaten path house, you know, killing and disposing of women. There's more to it than that, and that just didn't feel like right. Like this dude's, I mean, he's just, you know, a step away from somebody getting away from him and his whole shit coming down. I mean, he's not a, you know, he's a demented evil character, but he's a fucking dumbass. I mean, he's you know, I mean, you know, it feels like, you know, for this character to be accomplishing the things that the other level of shit that's behind all this to be going on, it feels like he would have to. You can't have that. Like, you can't have the you can have the evil, heartless, gutless, gutless. I mean, evil, heartless, you know, horrible murderer, like, you know, doing the dirty work for this grander scheme. But you can't. I mean, it's almost like you can't have the grander scheme and the stupid, gross, horrible, or, you know, slobbish redneck. You know, it's almost like those two, they don't play. I don't know. Look, it affected me. It is the most fucked up scene I've ever read. Ever. I've never read anything this fucked up. And again, there's a level of torture, of vile shit being done that is taken up a notch. The level of destruction being done to our main character mentally and physically, and then it's taken up a notch, and so there's a cool little bit when she kind of starts to craft her way out of the situation where it ties in some 80s popular music, and that was, man, I couldn't even fucking laugh at it at this point, but it was kind of cool usage of pop culture in the book. It's fucking gross, horrible, gross, and that's why, you know, I don't even know what I'm gonna rate it. Like, again, during that scene, I mean, it's the first time ever when I was like, what the fuck? Why would you write that? It was the first time ever that I've ever thought that. So, I mean, you do what you want. Look, I read Ralston's Womb. And Womb didn't make me feel like this. I mean, Womb had some pretty parts, though, and I still haven't reviewed that one. I need to go back and review it, but this one just... So I know what that's going to do. I mean, if you're like me and somebody talked about a book the way I just talked about this one, you would go buy it, and I would go buy it. I would read it. I would want to see what the hell, you know, the gas was. But yeah, it's messed up, bad, messed up. This is the SLOB, Aaron Beauregard. I'll be honest with you, I was coming into this review, I'm going to give it 3 stars. Maybe 2. And now, after I've talked about it for 15 minutes, I'm like, man, I don't know if that's fair. I mean, considering how it affected me, considering I am a horror reader, I have asked you motherfuckers to horrify me, and here I am kind of complaining about it. I don't know. Look, I'm not going to start this thing here. I think I've done enough to probably sell you on the book. I'm going to think about it a little bit more before I, like, you know, attach this to a Goodreads review and actually put a star value with it. I got to go. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Well Red Beard. This has been my review of The SLOB by Aaron Beauregard. Jesus. I hope you enjoyed my review. I hope you're enjoying all your books, all of them, as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.